Hello, friends and neighbors. John, your whiskey neighbor here. Welcome to the table. Tired of saying the basement. It's Sunday, and I have some samples. There's been a few locals that have come forward and met me, and we've had a bit of conversation. And Andy, a gentleman, has provided a couple of samples here. So I got a couple of scotches. One is Glengarry. This is a Highland Scotch from Loch Lamond. Don't know enough about it, but we'll let the whiskey talk. And then I've got an AnCnoc limited edition that came out in 2016. This is the stack. So I've got a non-peated and a peated, and we'll see where it goes. So why don't you pour a little scotch and come back. 3, 4. As I said in the opener, I'll try to keep it a bit brief. I don't really know that much about Glengarry. It just suddenly showed up, and it shows up in 2 bottles in my market. It's got this one here. This Glengarry is a single malt. There's no age stamp. I went to their website. There's no age on this that I can find at all. Single malt though, so all malt, all from their own distillery. But it's released at 40% and with no other information. And even comparing, I know you can't see on this video. I know you can't, but like this AnCnoc is 10 years and whatnot, and it's much lighter than this. Tells me it's colored in at 40%. Tells me that it's chill filtered it well. But it's good to try new scotches, new whiskeys as they show up. Oh, I said right. This has shown up in 2. This version, and then there is a 12-year-old version, and that one does talk about 3 styles of cask that it uses and whatnot. But pricing on this is a bit interesting. This is about $60, which is about what I can get the Loch Lamond 12-year-old for. So I'm just curious why they're kind of bringing in this newer release for our market anyways, and what they're hoping to get. Maybe the whiskey will blow me away. Let's try it on the nose and palate. Well, it's a nice, gentle Scotch. A little bit of orchard fruits. Nothing surprising. A little bit of cut apple and a little bit of lemon. Nice, good malt kind of characteristics. So a little bit of that creamy, kind of biscuity going on. But nice, relaxed Highland Scotch. Straight on the palate. Sláinte. That was pleasant. Up front, I almost got a cherry fruit or a bright fruit, like something. Oh, this is sweet and fruity, and that's quite nice. Then it kind of it doesn't hang around very long, doesn't coat very well. It's actually fairly thin. Early finish is when the oak starts to say hello a little bit, and there's a little bit of characteristic of that. Just a very gentle, very light oak. Try again. A second sip will help me a bit because these are just samples. I just poured them out, let them sit about 10 minutes, and hit record to join you guys. There is something right at the beginning that I like. Almost a light almond or, something light, really light chocolate, like milk chocolate. Like I'm not talking that husky cask that I often talk about, especially sherry, dark leather stuff, nothing like that. But yeah, maybe a little bit of marzipan. Bit of marzipan because it's sweet. I would say that. And then there's a bright fruit that I quite like. This is a very relaxed, easy to enjoy Scotch. Certainly, not running in any particular way. I don't think this is going to change your mind on anything, but it's actually quite easy sipping. Still, for the price, it's got a little bit of thin nature in the palate, so it does very, very quickly. It's gone, and the finish is of course short, and doesn't leave me with a lot. But I will say, I was about to, a couple of sips in, maybe there's some bitterness, but not really. Like a little bit of like grapefruit bitterness. I don't know why I got grapefruit out of that, but just there is a little bit of bitterness in there. But the front part of that palate is so light, fruit forward, and I said a little bit of something. for me, maybe it's that marzipan or almond sugar sweetness. That this is easy drinking. I'm probably not going to chase down a bottle. Like as I said, it's just priced really more than like there's so many entrance 10 or 12-year-old Highland Scotches that are similar to this that add just a little more char, oak, a little more smoke. On their website, they talked about light smoke and peat, and I thought, really? So am I getting any of that light smoke and peat? Maybe I need to spend the day with a bottle. Maybe a little bit of smoke and char. Just a wisp. Certainly no peat. This is AnCnoc Stack. It came out in 2016, limited to about 6,000 bottles. Andy also gave me a sip of this. Now it's 46%. It's 10 years old. Ex-bourbon. Now it's interesting. I went to AnCnoc's blog and while, Peat Heart, they mentioned 46 non-chill natural color. In their blog post, they don't mention if this is natural and unchill filtered. But the coloring, after being 10 years in ex-bourbon, to me looks pretty natural. And at 46%, I would hope it's unchill filtered. I just can't confirm. So if you can, please let me know. Let's try this one on the nose. Now I know it's peated to about 20 parts per million. And that's the first thing that's coming up. I've got smoked lemon. Oh yeah. There's another fruit in there that came up and then went away, but definitely a gentle smoke nature came up quite a bit. And a little bit, like when I said lemon, yeah, I'm getting a fresh fruit, but lemon, and that way it's soured and slightly briny maybe. Yeah, I would say some brine. Honey, sugar, so sweet. Actually, that kind of went a little sharp on the nose just at the end there, a little alcohol sharpness. Well, let's try it on the palate. Sancha. I like this dram. Peat, like this, tends to slow me down. It tends to almost tell my palate, oh, you need to figure out kind of what's going on here. And I've got some campfire notes, some earth notes. It's not extremely medicinal, but I get a little edge of that. It was quite sweet at first in the palate before the balance of that peat. And now then I get reminded of things like a little bit of ash, a little bit of fire, which helps think of oak, and it just creates a lengthy experience. I'll try another sip. If you're not, into peat, I think that's really what the conversation will be about, right? Even though it's 20 parts per million, it's funny. To me, it feels a little heavier peat than even a Bowmore, which is weird because that's about the same ballpark. But I'm getting quite a bit of earth and ash and smoke. Pepper, but just cracked back pepper. We're not into ginger or what other spice palette. It's just peppery. But the malt is sweet. The distillate, that sweet lemon meringue pie is what's in my head, which is a weird thing if I were to say, oh, it's like I'm smoking a cigar with a lemon meringue pie. But that's kind of what my mind is going to. So that could be off balance for you guys. Now, of course, I just poured these out. I let them sit, and I'm sipping. So these can't be taken too seriously. These tastes with you guys are just like, did that sound worth trying to get a sample of my own? I like this. I like this a lot more. Now, these are intended to be incredibly different drams, right? This is classic Highland orchard fruit. Got an interesting, marzipan note, which I think is worth thinking about. Whereas this AnCnoc, even though it's Highland, you'd think, oh, they're both Highland Scotch. Yeah, but this clearly, they've peated to a reasonable level. Somewhere around that 20 parts per million is what they say on their website. All ex-bourbon. All the fruit notes that I'm getting here are ex-bourbon casking. There is a little bit of vanillas in there, and I'm saying that out loud. And, those kinds of things. There's certainly, not to me, I guess I don't know that, any sherries in here, but this feels like, peated in an ex-bourbon cask. I like this sample a lot more. It's delighting my palate a lot more, but I'm thankful to have both and actually enjoyed both. I don't know if this is still around or available in the market or what the pricing is. I would imagine because it's a limited edition, it would have come out quite a bit more than the current Glengarry here. And as I said, I struggle with the value behind Glengarry right now with no information and sitting at that 40%. It's a bit of a struggle. Either way, I'm glad to have the samples. Thank you, Andy. And I hope you've enjoyed dropping in. If you've had experience with the AnCnoc stack or the new, I don't know if it's new everywhere, but new in my market, the Glengarry releases, why don't you make some comments? Say how you feel. Thanks for joining me. Hope you had a great Sunday and have a fantastic week.